when it comes to impeachment of the deputy president, the people of Embu are also very categorical on it. That no, the impeachment is not right. There are no good grounds to impeach the deputy president. Anybody who is preparing to rig 2027 elections is already lost. I mean, if you want to start rigging right now, it means you have already lost elections. We are not supposed to charge anybody to get an identity card that is required in everything you do in this country. My problems with the government and the president started when I voted no to the finance bill. The report from Infotrak, it will be trash, completely trash.
Hello and welcome. This is SPM Buzz. We are right here with Sauti TV and eAfrica TV, and with us is Honorable Mukunji, Member of Parliament for Manyata constituency. Happy New Year, Mheshimiwa.
Happy New Year, Sheiks.
Uko salama?
Mimi niko fiti kabisa.
Kujituma
tu.
Na ndio form.
Form ni kujituma.
So right now, of course, you're back from recess. Sijui imekuwa vipi?
Yes, so we are back from recess. Tumeanza bunge, of course, with a little bit of interesting changes. In the court ruling. Lakini we have had a very long recess. Kutoka last year, November. Of course, kwa mbunge, it's never really a recess. It's still work because uko mashinani, unafanya plans zako za mijengo, kufanya maneno ya bursaries, kutayarisha mashure. Saa hii kuna maneno ya grade 9 ile inaitwa JSS. There is a lot of work ongoing. Yes, and akunanga recess, literally. A member of parliament works 24 hours. Yes.
Talking about kwenye ground, of course, yesterday we saw a new report from Infotrak.
Yes.
I don't know what you have to say about the holding. I'm very sure you've seen the
I've seen Infotrak, and I have a very funny history with Infotrak. Interestingly, wakati I was winning my seat with even 95% of the votes. Infotrak ilikuwa imesema niko chini. So these polls are just normal cases of mpango. And ile michezo ya town. Now, of course, the interesting part is also how do you gauge members of parliament? First of all, you gauge members of parliament through representation. How they are contributing to the National Assembly and how vocal they are on matters. And also how they are doing to their people. What are they working on their people? And it is very diverse. Because first of all, is if you are to look at the track record of contributions in the House, the relevance of contribution, how hardworking somebody is on bringing matters in the National Assembly, the report from Infotrak, it will be trash, completely trash. If you look at matters to do with popularity, you gauge popularity in terms of the most popular nationally or the most popular from where he has been elected. Those are major questions. Ukienda uliza watu ya Embu, watakwambia Mukunji anafaa kuwa number 1. Lakini ukiuliza watu ya Nairobi maneno ya Embu, watakwambia something very different. So these are normal things, but of course it is a matter of them trying to be relevant. But if there is anything about the best member of parliament who is the most hardworking, it should be something that should be factual in terms of contributions. Mzalendo did something last year. It ranked members of parliament through their contribution in the House. And especially now that I'm the chairman of young members of parliament, many young members of parliament have done extremely well. And they ranked, especially in terms of bills. Umeleta bills ngapi kwa bunge, and how impactful are your bills? Umeleta motions ngapi kwa bunge, and how impactful they are? Na ukipanga hiyo maneno, whatever Infotrak is trying to tell us is total trash. So I believe there should be more seriousness when it comes to ranking on performance. Because ukienda Embu, you see what we are doing on our school, on improving education. You see what we are doing with empowerment of young people through bringing them together in circles, bringing them together with the CBOs, and trying to ensure that they get a chance to do the work, even from our own projects in the constituency. My friend, you cannot rank me anything below 1. You know? Yeah.
So, if you were to get yourself today, putting aside the InfoTrack report,
yes,
unajipia percentage ya...
It will be unfair, Sheiks. It will be totally unfair for me to rank myself. Itakuwa mbaya. I mean,
so we leave that to the people.
Wananchi, kwanza hii tu nataka uweke useme, watu ya Embu, nataka mgage mbunge yenu. Then watakwambia. Na utashtuka. Itakuwa 100 kwa 100.
Alright, now let's talk about something that happened before you guys came back, maybe when the whole parliament was on recess. The other day we saw the president was in the northern region. And on this whole thing of identification, the vetting and everything, we have not yet heard your voice in it, because the president thinks vetting should be done now, especially on the communities that are in such areas.
Well, let me first say that ID by the fact that you're a Kenyan is a human right thing. I mean, hauwezi kuwa wewe ni Mkenya na hauna ID. But nikisikia watu wakiongea maneno ya vetting, I feel like we are losing the point. Any Kenyan do not require to be vetted to become a Kenyan, because you are Kenyan by birth. But the real issue, Sheiks, na hapa ndio watu nataka waangalie vizuri. The real issue is us charging pesa, almost 1,000 Kenyan shillings for somebody to get an ID. That is where the issue is. And that is where we are actually failing as a country. First of all, we are not supposed to charge anybody to get an identity card that is required in everything you do in this country. And this one is going to make many young people. And you know, the fact of the matter is, over 40% of Kenyan, according to statistics, live below the poverty line. So they live below $1 a day. Then you tell that someone to get 1,000 Kenyan shillings for his son who needs to go maybe to a TVET or to another institution to get an identity card. That is where the problem is, and I don't feel like the president is really well advised to talk about vetting when he is not addressing the issue of charging money to get an identity card.
Allow me to talk a little bit about the same thing.
Yes.
Probably 3 weeks ago, we were with the PS migration.
Yes.
And a question was raised concerning the same. And according to him, the 1,000 bob is because of the new IDs that Kenyans are getting. They're calling it that generation or what? Something like that ID. They say that chip is the whole thing and the reason why.
I agree with the introduction of technology for better identification and everything. But at whatever cost, this country is not a broke country. We have money to do all these manner of things, to buy MPs, to buy senators, and do all manner of things with resources that are supposed to be helping our people. Then we charge them to be citizens of Kenya. No, I disagree with our priorities. We need to make identity cards free. Whatever technology is put in those identity cards should not cost the Kenyan anything. And as a matter of fact, if we are putting technology in those identity cards, we want people to be well identified with the chips. The fact of the matter is, Kenya can be able to fund and be able to pay from its taxpayers' money for somebody who has not earned a bob in his life because he doesn't have an identity card. He is either going to school or finishing school to actually get an ID for free. And that is something that I'm going to fight for because that is discriminatory and it is unfair. We will soon start charging for voters' card then, so that if you want to vote, you pay money. That is the direction we are going. We need to stop charging for identity cards, and it is not fair to even charge young people.
I had a question, something that you mentioned. since you're a member of Parliament, you have seen this issue. So there are plans to table such concern on the floor of the Parliament.
I will actually say that even the introduction of payment identity cards was illegally done. It is illegal to charge. It is against the constitution of this country. We are going to review it. I'm going to be very vocal. I'll muscle my young members of Parliament to ensure that identity cards are free. Maneno ya vetting, whoever is supposed to be vetted is neither here nor there. But let's make identity cards free, because that is most key for our young people in this country. Yes.
Talking
In
about
line with that, sorry, Shiko, before you proceed, sorry for cutting you short. Okay, there has been speculations that the 2027 elections will be rigged through registration of aliens. I don't know how credible do you think maybe these claims are?
Well, anybody who is preparing to rig 2027 elections is already lost. I mean, if you want to start rigging right now, it means you have already lost elections. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. But the fact of the matter is, we are keen. We are very, very keen. No monkey games can be played in this country. Anybody who wants to take this country to the dogs can dare do any stupid thing when it comes to matters elections. This country where it is right now, and it has grown from the post-election violence of 2007. The fact of the matter is, elections must be very credible, transparent, and anybody must have a fair chance to execute his right to participate in elections. And that is why we are starting with this matter of making identity cards free for our young people who have not earned a shilling in their life.
All right. Now, maybe moving on to another question. Of course, we had the first House session yesterday, and the whole issue that the country was waiting for is about a court ruling that was done before, the issue of the majority and the minority in the House. We saw Juliet Mohammed and the whole team leave the House because the Parliament said the majority remains to be Kimani Ichung'wah and the whole crew.
Well, let me say this on the court ruling. Number one, it also challenges us as members of Parliament, and especially the Speaker. We have passed a number of bills and laws that have been challenged in court, and amount of resources that have been used in court processes has become extraneous. First of all, it is a wake-up call to Speaker Wetangula. We cannot be having everything that is passed in that house being challenged in court. It means we are doing something that is illegal. And the courts are not wrong in their challenges. But that aside, let me say, hii maneno ya majority na minority leader, it's a fallacy. In Kenya, we only have a majority leader and majority leader too. We don't have a minority in this house. It's I don't know where Bunge became part of the executive, that everybody became aligned to the executive. And this is the problem that we have to face as Kenyans, that we don't have an opposition. And this is the thing. Maybe the president thought by doing the broad-based government, he has decided everybody now is in government and there is no opposition. Then to his shock, he found Kenyans are the ones that are saying no to wrong policies. And let me say this, it is after the broad-based government that I first heard the president complain that Kenyans are becoming, are saying no to everything. So maybe it is a point he releases the opposition to go back to their work so that he can at least deal with them. But Kenyans are more difficult. So number one, we don't have a minority side and a majority side in the house. We are supposed to have, because that is how the constitution is made, and that is how our standing orders talk about the people who have formed government and the people who are on the opposite side. But the fact of the matter is, myself, I will continue calling out government even when I am elected with the government party.
A discussion that we will be, just a minute, you mentioned that there is no majority and minority. According to you, there is majority 1 and majority 2.
Yes.
The big question is how about what impact will it cause whatever we saw yesterday, Juliet Mohammed and the whole team working out? Okay.
So that is majority 2 wanting to be majority 1. So he wanted to be majority 1,
Yeah.
but now Wetangula ruled differently.
Yeah.
He just wanted to come from majority 2 to majority 1. So we'll wait Afro Cinema continues shortly.
All right.
Okay, now to touch on that, you said that you were elected under the government party.
Yes.
What happened? Did someone step on the other's foot, or are you guys still working together? What exactly is going on?
Well, my problems with the government and the president started when I voted no to the finance bill, and the fact of the matter is, I don't believe it's right to say that the decisions that we make in the house must always align with the party. I disagree with him totally, because at some point you have also to remember that you are elected by the people. And the problem is, if you say everything that is coming to the floor, even that is against your people, you have to say yes. Mimi, I would rather be judged harshly. Mimi nitasimama na wananchi wangu. Mia kwa mia.
So this has, allow me to ask this question. How has this maybe strengthened or weakened your political stand, especially on your constituency in the Embu County at large?
No. You know, Embu now, they are calling it the center of Mlima Kenya.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I said no to the finance bill. Of course, it was not an easy decision, because it was the first time that I went against the party stand.
Yeah.
And I did that simply because I had listened, keenly listened to the people. And I even did like what we call online public participation, to see if there is anybody who is telling me this bill is good. But it was very clear, loud and clear, that that bill was a no-no to the people. But that one, now, of course, on the government side, they were not happy. And the reactions, of course, is just the normal, usual reactions of intimidation. And the fact of the matter is, when you stand with your conscience, you can never go wrong. You are always more powerful. And people have always been with me because of standing with what they say. When it comes to impeachment of the deputy president, the people of Embu are also very categorical on it, that no, the impeachment is not right. There are no good grounds to impeach the deputy president. And I had to affirm that and stand with my people on the same. When it came to the issue of Billy Mwangi, yes, I'm in government, but I cannot close my eyes and say it is normal for a young person to disappear, and then because you're in government you keep quiet.